Hey guys, my name is Chris, and today I'll be showing you how to change the oil and filter on a 2005 Acura RSX. The supplies you will need for this oil change will be oil. You can find the type of oil that you need for your vehicle in the owner's manual, or if you go to any auto parts store and give them the make and model, they will give you the oil weight for your car, and also on the oil cap of your vehicle, it will specify the weight of your oil. You will need an oil filter, and this is optional, but this is an oil stabilizer. It will improve the longevity of your motor and reduce the wear. It's just generally really good stuff to run in a motor. So those are the supplies you need to do an oil change. The parts and whatnot, or the tools and whatnot you will need to complete this oil change. So you need your safety. So we have safety glasses right here so you don't get oil in your eyes, and you have gloves right here so you don't burn yourself. We have a funnel to put the oil back in the car after we are done draining the oil. We have a ratchet and a 17mm socket. This particular vehicle calls for a 17mm socket because the drain bolt is 17mm. And then we need some tool to remove the oil filter. These are all three different types of tools to remove oil filters. For this particular vehicle, I'll be using this tool right here. After that, we will need a jack, obviously, to jack up the car so we can remove the drain plug. Obviously, when you jack anything up, you want jack stands for safety. You don't want the vehicle falling on you. We have a creeper right here, so we can get up and underneath the car easier. And then we have an oil drain pan to drain all the oil in. The first thing you want to do when changing your oil is to pop the hood. After this, we will remove the oil cap and the dipstick. So here's your oil cap. You want to remove that. It just makes draining the oil a lot faster. It doesn't create a vacuum. Then move your dipstick just so you have it out and ready. The next thing to do is to jack up your vehicle. Prior to jacking up your vehicle, you want to make sure your emergency brake is pulled. It is. And then you want to place some kind of wheel chock behind your rear wheels. That way, whenever the vehicle's up, it does not roll backwards. And now you can go about jacking up the car. When you're jacking up the vehicle, always be sure to place the pad of the jack on the frame so that we do not damage any components underneath the car. Now that the vehicle is jacked up, you want to place your jack stands under the vehicle for safety. Whenever installing the jack stands underneath the vehicle, always make sure the jack stands are either underneath the frame or a pinch weld on a vehicle. This is a pinch weld. Some vehicles have them, most cars, vans have them, and then trucks, obviously, you will just place this on the frame. Once your jack stands are set in a safe place underneath your vehicle, slowly let your jack down until the car rests on the jack stands. At this point, it is safe to remove the jack stand. For demonstration purposes, I have lifted the car up this high, but whenever you're doing a normal oil change, there's no need to lift the vehicle up this high. You just need enough room to get under there, remove the drain bolt, remove the oil filter, and drain the oil. Once the vehicle is jacked up, it is safe to get underneath your vehicle to remove the oil drain plug. On this particular vehicle, this RSX, the drain plug is located right here. Always check your owner's manual if you are unsure of where your oil drain plug is. Sometimes on certain vehicles it can be easy to get the oil drain plug and the transmission drain plug mixed up. So we are using our ratchet and our 17mm socket. Once the oil drain plug is removed, you can now remove your oil filter. On this particular vehicle, the oil filter is located right there beneath the header. And to me personally, it's easier to get to the oil filter from the top of the motor versus the bottom. So I'll go ahead and do that. So you can use the wrench to initially loosen the oil filter, and once it is loosened, you can reach down here with your hand and unscrew it by hand. After you've removed your oil filter, you want to make sure to wipe down the seat of where the oil filter screws onto. You just get a rag and just wipe it down, make sure there's no excess oil on it. I'll show you what it looks like. So there it is. The seat is clean, doesn't have any dirt, grime, or oil on it. That's how you want it to be. Once you remove the oil filter and cleaned off the seat of where the oil filter goes onto, you can put the new oil filter on. You want to get your new oil filter, and you want to make sure that you lick the entire rubber mating surface. I'm just kidding, no, don't do that. Don't lick it. That's very bad for you. You want to make sure that you lubricate this rubber gasket by placing some new oil on it. This will help the oil filter not stick to the motor, so the next time you won't take it off, it'll be a lot easier to take off. Just dip your finger in the oil and just lubricate the rubber O-ring on the oil filter, and just run a little bit of oil all the way around the O-ring on the oil filter. Once you have done that, you can install the oil filter on the vehicle. Install it the same way you pull it out, and when you were tightening it, there's no need to tighten it with this wrench. All you need to do is tighten it by hand. Normally you want to tighten it once the seat of the gasket touches. You want to turn the whole oil filter about a half to about a full turn once it seats, and that is all it needs. You do not need to use any tools to tighten it down or anything. That's all you need. Once the new oil filter is installed, you can come back underneath the vehicle and reinstall the drain plug. Prior to reinstalling it though, it is always safe to wipe down any excess oil that came from the oil filter and the oil drain plug. That way you just don't have a mess. So just wipe it down as best you can. You're not going to get it all, but just get the majority of it. And once you do that, clean off your oil drain plug. Make sure the seat is nice and clean, and then go ahead and reinstall it. Just like that, and tighten it. Now when you're tightening this bolt, make sure not to over tighten it, because you do not want to strip the threads in your oil pan, then have to buy a new oil pan. So when you're tightening it, just tighten it to tighten it hand tight, but just don't go excessive on it. That's about it. Once you have installed your drain plug and cleaned everything underneath the car, you can go ahead and lower the car back down. So jack your car back up, making sure that your jack is on the frame of the car. Remove the jack stand. And then lower the vehicle, and just make sure you do this slowly. Also remember to remove your wheel chock in the back of the vehicle. After you've loaded your car, you can now fill the vehicle up with oil. We'll use our funnel so we do not get oil everywhere. And my car holds about 4.5 quarts of oil, but you always want to go by, put a little bit less oil than what the vehicle calls for, and then check the dipstick and see where it's at, and then slowly add oil until it's on the correct level on the dipstick, as I will show you later. Once you've put oil in the vehicle, you want to check how much oil is in your motor. So stick your dipstick in, pull it out, and check to see where you're at. So right now is almost perfect. I could probably add a little bit more, so I will do that. And that is almost perfect. However, we want to start the vehicle for about 10 seconds and then turn it off and let the vehicle sit for about a minute and then recheck the oil so the oil can go into the oil filter, all the oil passages, and just to make sure we have the right amount of oil in there. Oh, hey there! So, now that we've put the motor oil in the car, we want to start the vehicle for approximately 10 seconds.
Testing.
Once you've started the vehicle and let it run for a few seconds, and turn it off and let it sit, it is okay to check the oil for the final time. And as you can see, we can add a little bit more. However, because I am adding the oil stabilizer to this motor, instead of putting motor oil in it, I'm going to substitute it for some of the oil stabilizer. After you have topped off your oil, you want to check the oil level one last time. And here you can see we are right at the top of the dot, which is this vehicle's maximum oil capacity. Really, you want to try to stay anywhere between the lower dot and the upper dot. Obviously, you'd like to try to stay as close to the upper dot as you can, just because it will offer more oil, better protection. And then that's it. So after that is done, make sure you reinstall your dipstick, make sure you reinstall your cap. Check your engine bay for any tools or anything, remove any of your tools. Check underneath the engine for leaks. Make sure you tightened everything down, make sure there's no leaks, nothing down there to be concerned of. And once you've done that, removed everything, go ahead and lower your hood and take it for a test drive. Once you have finished the oil change and ensure that there are no leaks, make sure that your car is running at its optimum performance.